All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value.
Listen, here's what it comes down to. If we don't share the values of free speech, I'm not sure where we go from here.
They're coming for us, my friends. YouTube is going to take away your favorite channels, clearly spreading the truth. The earth is flat. It is.
Correct.
Your response is to put a box saying, nope, the earth is not flat.
Correct.
Your response is to put a box saying, nope, the earth is not flat.
Correct.
Okay.
So we're introducing boxes that provide factual information at the top of results that have shown themselves to turn up a lot of information that is counterfactual, such as searching for the earth is flat on YouTube, where you see a lot of...
Your response is to put a box saying, nope, the earth is not flat.
Correct.
Okay.
You know, this practice of silencing millions and millions of people, it will create wounds and divisions in this country that we cannot heal from.
Let's talk about the dark side of YouTube.
YouTube, get it!
This is extremely worrisome. You've created amazing platforms. We can do amazing things with what these companies have created. But if we continue down this path, it'll tear us apart. You do not have a constitutional obligation to enforce the First Amendment, but I would say that you absolutely have an obligation to enforce American values, and the First Amendment is an underpinning of American values that we should be protecting until the day we die. Thank you.
A Slate article references a study by Jonathan LBRY, director of the Taft Center for Digital Journalism at Columbia, who found 9,000 videos on YouTube with titles that are, and I quote, a mixture of shocking, vile, and promotional themes that include rape game jokes, shock reality, social experiments, celebrity pedophilia, false flag rants, and terror-related conspiracy theories dating back to the Oklahoma City attacks in 1995. Ms. Downs, does Google think that this is a problem, and what is the solution that you're coming up with to address it?
Thank you for the question. So as you noted, when Alex Jones posted the video you described saying that the survivors of the Parkland massacre were crisis actors, that violated our harassment policy. We have a specific policy that says if you say a well-documented violent attack didn't happen and you use the name or image of survivors or victims of that attack, that is a malicious attack and it violates our policy. In terms of conspiracy theory content generally, our goal is to promote authoritative content to our users. So we have two principles that guide the way here. That's the first one, is we want to provide users with authoritative, trustworthy information.
I'm sorry to cut you off. I only have a minute and a half, and I don't really need to hear what you're trying to provide. I want to know how you're dealing with all these conspiracy theorists on your platform.
So the first way is by demoting low-quality content and promoting more authoritative content, and the second is by providing more transparency for users. So we're introducing boxes that provide factual information at the top of results that have shown themselves to turn up a lot of information that is counterfactual, such as searching for the earth is flat on YouTube, where you see a lot of...
Your response is to put a box saying, nope, the earth is not flat.
Do you think this new YouTube information panels feature is going to reduce misinformation on the platform?
Seem like bullshit. They seem not true. People are tired of this.
It begs the question, what kind of education do people at Google have?
Listen, I know YouTube is trying to do a good thing with these information panels. It's a great, laudable goal to get misinformation off the social media platform. But YouTube is slowly turning from a palette of artistic expression to a passive website of spoon-fed information that I can get by going to CNN.com or FoxNews.com.
It's pretty disturbing. And it gets to the question, do you believe in hate speech? How do you define that? Can you give me a quick definition right now? Is it written down somewhere, Google? Can you give me a definition of hate speech?
Congressman, yes. So hate speech, again, as updated in our guidelines now, extends to superiority over protected groups to justify discrimination, violence, and so on, based on a number of defining characteristics, whether that's race, sexual orientation, veteran status.
But has YouTube gone too far? Is this going to destroy creators' freedom of expression on YouTube?
Why do a lot of YouTubers actually hate YouTube?
It's really easy to get mad at YouTube at this point, right? Look at all this stuff that's happening on the platform.
YouTube is on a massive decline.
The community is more unhappy with YouTube than ever.
YouTube is very broken.
YouTube is just fundamentally fucking broken.
YouTube is being fucking shitty.
The system is flawed.
In the next few months, YouTube is rolling out this new information panels feature that they say is going to slow down fake news and hopefully will reduce the amount of conspiracy theories that have been debunked on YouTube. How it works is anytime you do a search on YouTube for a controversial subject, you're going to get a card that appears at the top of those results, which will debunk any rumors or perhaps explain the allegations of the conspiracy topic that you're searching for. YouTube says it's going to get its true information from verified fact-checking partners like Wikipedia and Snopes. It's going to get more of these fact checkers by administering an independent verification process through schema.org. Guess who owns schema.org? Satan. No, but close. Google, Microsoft, and Yahoo.
Let's get to the next question. Do you believe speech can be violence? All right, there's not can you incite violence? That is very clearly not protected. But can speech just be violence? Do you believe that speech that isn't specifically calling for violence can be labeled violence and therefore harmful to people? Is that possible?
Congressman, I'm not sure I fully understand the distinction you're drawing. Certainly, again, incitement to violence or things that are encouraging dangerous behavior, those are things that would be against our policies.
All this brings two main questions to my mind. The first one is, what is truth? Takes me back to college. What is the nature of truth? Do you mean Tarskian truth or neoclassical truth? Come on, let me drop some realism truth on you. But seriously, what is true on YouTube and who should decide it? Right now, you search a topic on YouTube and you watch a bunch of videos, you get information. You do research on Google, you get information, and you decide what is true for you. Do you want to allow YouTube, Microsoft, Yahoo, I don't know why Yahoo has a seat at the table, but do you want to allow those service providers to decide for you what is truth? And are you okay with that? You are?
All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value.
Hey, YouTube, what the f***?
It's just ridiculous. It just really is. YouTube, this is just ridiculous.
It has not been this bad ever, I don't think.
I think it's at its lowest point that it's ever been.
YouTube is just constantly screwing us over every single time we upload a video.
YouTube just likes to fuck you right up the ass all the goddamn time.
What were your gripes with YouTube? You want to talk about that?
Yeah, I'm so mad.
The community is unhappy with YouTube.
YouTube has a YouTube problem.
I'm done with this shit. I'm done with the YouTube's format. I'm done with this YouTube shit that I've had to deal with.
I want nothing to do with this platform. I'm disgusted. I never want another cent from Google.
The state of YouTube is anti-creator.
As the creator, that's incredibly frustrating.
It's frustrating.
I hope this is communicating to you that I'm very frustrated.
My biggest frustrations currently lie with YouTube.
It just feels like YouTube isn't willing to work with creators.
I feel like there's no appreciation from YouTube for its creators.
YouTube doesn't do enough to support their community.
It's so disconnected with the community and its creators.
Yeah, it just feels like YouTube don't want to comment on the issue. They don't want to talk about it. They don't want to even acknowledge it.
YouTube just seems like they're not even trying.
I don't think that they're doing enough for the community.
They don't give up. That's fine. They don't care.
I genuinely don't feel YouTube does enough to take care of and look after their community.
Listen, here's what it comes down to. If we don't share the values of free speech, I'm not sure where we go from here. You know, this practice of silencing millions and millions of people, it will create wounds and divisions in this country that we cannot heal from. This is extremely worrisome. You've created amazing platforms. We can do amazing things with what these companies have created. But if we continue down this path, it'll tear us apart. You do not have a constitutional obligation to enforce the First Amendment, but I would say that you absolutely have an obligation to enforce American values, and the First Amendment is an underpinning of American values that we should be protecting until the day we die.
Now, of course, YouTube is probably going to publish some clarifying statement saying, "We at YouTube would like to assure our community that we remain committed to our content creators, blah, 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 blah."
One of the biggest things we're doing is working on how to support creators.
The responses to things like this seem like bullshit. They seem not true. People are tired of this.
Seriously, what can you and I do about this? As usual, probably nothing. However,
all I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value.
The final tweet I want to share with you from YouTube boils my blood more than any of the others.
Our goal has just been to have creators who represent a diverse set of views.
You claim to be about free speech and against censorship, except you're not.
Listen, here's what it comes down to. If we don't share the values of free speech, I'm not sure where we go from here.
YouTube has been going through this transitional period where they've Disney-fied the entire platform.
They clearly have an agenda, and any anti-PC, any anti-social justice warrior channel that doesn't fit their narrative is going to lose everything.
YouTube doesn't want anything but PC content on their platform.
You're talking about being your authentic self anymore. You literally can't be that on YouTube anymore.
If I change my channel to abide by what YouTube thinks is fit, I lose the essence of what is me.
Why even call it YouTube anymore? There's nothing you about it.
There's no soul left. There's no backbone left.
Our vision is to be the platform for millions of channels and make sure those channels are they can cover anything.
Responses to things like this seem like bullshit. They seem not true.
And speaking of YouTube censorship,
at the moment we are seeing censorship on YouTube.
There is a huge problem with YouTube censoring policies.
YouTube's been doing a thing where they've been hyping, demonetizing, age gating, and removing our content.
It turns out that YouTube has blocked the channel. I know from the last 2 videos about this topic I've uploaded, if I upload it to my YouTube channel, it will just get suppressed.
I post a video and it gets blocked.
YouTube is actively suppressing and banning legitimate flat earth content.
YouTube hides and restricts our reach.
Channels are being throttled. Users are being unsubscribed repeatedly without their knowledge from channels they subscribe to.
Users continue commenting that my channel has disappeared from their subscription list.
Not only was my most recent video demonetized, but many people were complaining that it never showed up for them to begin with.
YouTube said to us that demonetized videos do not result in minimized views, which is a total lie. It was getting 2,800 views a minute. The second it got demonetized, it started to reduce right down to 70%. We lost 70% of those viewers as soon as it was demonetized.
YouTube suppresses the ability to search for that video. It gets pushed down lower and lower in search results, and your viewership just plummets whenever something gets demonetized.
The second thought that I have on this new feature of YouTube information panels is who gets that coveted spot at the top when someone searches a controversial term.
Just to show the censorship of Flat Earth, when you search Flat Earth on YouTube, you'll notice you get the same videos over and over again. You don't really get any real videos made by genuine Flat Earthers talking about it. You get the National Geographic, ABC News, Neil deGrasse Tyson, you get all this crap. And it's endless, too. Endless debunking videos, satire, mockery. There's nothing really worth watching here even. And you have to wonder why there's being so much time and energy dedicated to this. There's Joe Rogan. I mean, yeah, it's ridiculous. They pretty much have the search engines, the algorithm has been engineered in such a way toward the results, it won't even give you any good results. It just gives you the same thing over and over again. And, Eric Dubay. December, he had his channel, his second channel was deleted again. So YouTube is obviously, they hate Eric Dubay. And this video right here, Operation Spread Flat Earth Truth, this was uploaded a year ago, maybe years ago actually. So, and YouTube was fine with it back then, but now he re-uploads it. Boom. Instant limited state, no recommended videos on the sidebar, you can't like the video, you can't comment, you can't click on the channel or anything. A complete limited state, it's practically non-existent at this point. It's ridiculous. The censorship is getting out of control.
This new YouTube feature is going to give us context. It's going to remind us that we need to be skeptical of not only creator information videos, but also the hand-picked, verified fact-checker videos that come at the top of the search results. We cannot get lazy and use the YouTube information panels as a crutch, our primary source for the truth. But I'm open to other points. What do you think?
All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value.
But the problem is that the testimony doesn't stop there. The policies at your social media companies do not stop there. It doesn't stop at the clear-cut lines of terrorism and terrorist videos and terrorist propaganda. Unfortunately, that's not exactly what we're talking about. It goes much further than that. It goes down the slippery slope of what speech is appropriate for your platform and the vague standards that you employ in order to decide what is appropriate. And this is especially concerning.
Seriously, what can you and I do about this? As usual, probably nothing. However,
all I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value.
This has been happening for a long time, and we're afraid to say it because we know what YouTube can do, what they can do, and what they have done to us in the past.
We are seeing the line pushed further and further every day.
A bunch of my videos have been demonetized.
Every single video I have ever uploaded has been demonetized.
They demonetized my entire back catalog.
When I post a video, even when it's uploading sometimes, it gets demonetized. Even if I haven't added any tags or any information at all, they're like, nah, this channel probably not gonna like it.
Even if my videos are totally clean, no swearing, no graphic content, a lot of the time, my video will still be demonetized for no reason.
Permanently demonetized, no reason given. Yes, you can have monetization so long as you have the correct opinions.
And it's not just me, this is far worse. It's going after all controversial YouTubers.
I truly don't think that you'll see any more edgy, interesting channels coming up in a big way on YouTube anymore. You won't see it.
They don't want you around.
YouTube's put us in this prison and decides where we can walk and when.
We're a little bit more like caged pigeons.
You can't even acknowledge or talk about something in passing without YouTube's explicit permission.
You have to edit yourself and censor yourself.
We went from being allowed to upload whatever we wanted to being limited to vlogs.
It's time for me to go make some makeup tutorial videos or Jake Paul reaction videos so that YouTube doesn't completely exile me.
It's eye-opening, man. You think you have any control over your channel and you wake up one day and YouTube deletes your biggest video. It's just gone from the internet. Good thing I have catalogs of all this shit on my computer, otherwise my work would just be gone from fucking existence.
Folks like me had produced videos like 4 reasons not to vote for Hillary Clinton, and lo and behold, Google, owned by Alphabet Incorporated and a backer of the Hillary campaign, found that video too problematic to be monetized, so it was permanently demonetized.
Speech seems to be the biggest problem when you search for Hillary Clinton because Google removed everything but an utter silence is offensive next to her name.
Then when I produced a satirical video, 10 reasons not to vote for Donald Trump, it remained monetized.
Do you know who owns 96% of the entire media? The Jews. They own it all. ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox. Why do you think Fox is the Israel warmongering channel 24/7? Why do you think every single televangelist on TV says, bless Israel, give your money to Israel, Israel this, Israel that? Because it is owned by the media, which is controlled by the Jews. That's what Alex Jones isn't going to tell you. That's what 90% of all these so-called truth channels are not going to.
Your opening statement, you said, I lead this company without political bias and work to ensure that our products operate that way.
Would YouTube put ads and promote somebody from the conflicting side, from the right with an opposing view? I don't think so. I don't at all.
Every time that I get even impinging on something potentially political, and I put it in the tag, and granted, it's a gun that only shoots one direction. It's only when I put someone who's right-wing.
The political content they push is not demonetized. It is not placed into limited state. YouTube isn't political or anything. YouTube is totally fine with political content, so long as content creators are pushing the same political agenda as YouTube.
We got our streaming cut off.
They're now closing the gates to freedom of expression behind them.
We will not be making those videos anymore.
It's the speech that seems to be a problem at Google, and it's dangerous.
Listen, here's what it comes down to. If we don't share the values of free speech, I'm not sure where we go from here.
Can we just stop and be disturbed?
Google as an organization does a lot of things that are nefarious, and I can't get behind that, and I can't support that.
I can't support a system that does that. I can't support a system that clearly is silencing speech.
If I were to say I had just one focus right now, I would say it's responsibility. A couple of ways that we look at that and that we're taking action. And so the first one is thinking about our policies and how do we enforce our policies, and then making sure that we're enforcing them and we enforce them in a consistent way.
Responses to things like this seem like bullshit.
YouTube is contradicting itself with its new show, Wayne. This show breaks every single rule that YouTube gave us. Everything that YouTube told us personally was wrong with our videos is in this show. This show is unrestricted, it's on trending, it has 12 million views, and it breaks every single fucking rule. Because it's Wayne. If it was Raka,
we want to have a platform that's fair and equal for everyone.
Responses to things like this seem like bullshit. They seem not true. People are tired of this.
Seriously, what can you and I do about this? As usual, probably nothing. However,
all I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value.
YouTube has put into place discriminatory new actions.
On YouTube, we are not playing by the same rules.
YouTube picks and chooses favorites very clearly.
There are different rules based on your size.
YouTube funded that show. They read the script where it said fuck 300 times, and then they go, yeah, here's millions of dollars, make that show. Then us, it's, nah, that's not allowed, that's not allowed.
The hypocrisy, the blatant, disgusting double standards here, it's unbelievable.
More and more, we're beginning to see a lot of creators on YouTube speak out against what I like to call the increasing corporatization of YouTube.
Google doesn't know what to do with YouTube, but it smells major cash from these corporations right now. So it pushes out the people who made YouTube what it is, the content creators. Basically the reason you're here.
Do you know who owns 96% of the entire media? The Jews. They own it all. ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox. Why do you think Fox is the Israel warmongering channel 24/7? Why do you think every single televangelist on TV says, bless Israel, give your money to Israel, Israel this, Israel that? Because it is owned by the media, which is controlled by the Jews.
Promoting their own YouTube TV service, so you can get on YouTube and watch the television shows you came on YouTube to initially avoid.
We'll throw our biggest content creator under the bus for Disney. Oh, and we continue to restrict visibility of alternative news media channels while giving the mainstream media a free pass. Good times, but we really care about you.
I'm really sick of their double standards and the fact that the rules that they apply to certain people obviously don't apply to all.
It's not being implemented equally.
They demonetize a creator's video for talking about a tragedy, but not Jimmy Kimmel, one of their bigger, more corporate partners.
For some reason, Jimmy Kimmel is exempt.
It sort of reeks of hypocrisy.
The mainstream media have YouTube channels, and they're allowed to talk about this stuff. One rule for them, another rule for everyone else.
These large corporations, they come on YouTube and they are treated better than normal creators.
The only thing they've ever taken a stand for, the only thing they've ever stood up for, is other corporations, other businesses with a lot of money. Everyone else is subject to arbitrary, gibberish nonsense.
We have a very obvious double standard here.
It gives priority to old school TV networks first and foremost.
The Jews. They own it all. ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox.
I would be fine with their presence if they were treated the same as creators, if they were forced to compete with us and creators weren't handicapped at the behest of large corporations, but that's not the case.
It prioritizes them over us.
The Jews. They own it all.
All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value.
They pick and choose who the rules apply to. The rules apply to some people and the rules do not apply to other people. YouTube decides. There's no rules. It's just YouTube saying, you're allowed, you raka, you're not allowed.
Advertisers are a bigger priority to this platform than the community.
You could be a little bit disappointed by the way the game is working right now.
You've forbidden us from making mature content and then fund an entire multi-million-dollar show making that sort of content.
They don't want to even respond to these double standards that are just so infuriating. They just care about these large companies that already have millions of dollars, you know, and they're showing it.
The Jews. They own it all.
Don't break rules if they don't apply to yourselves.
I was talking to my guy, I'm like, man, I feel like this has become worse than working with like a television executive at this point.
So,
well, he said to me, go work with a TV executive and then let me know how it is.
Platforms seem to take the attitude that they own you, and they kind of say, well, screw you if you don't like it.
They treat their users like disposable cutlery.
You know, they make you feel worthless.
You can do everything right and still get treated like you've done something wrong.
Like we're getting punished for a crime that we didn't commit.
It feels like the smaller creators, or the single content creators, the people who don't have massive teams of lawyers behind them, things like that, are kind of the ones that get pushed and shoved around.
All we've done is put good into the world for 4 years and we're punished because of it.
It's infuriating.
As you can see, YouTube is about to change forever.
Large multinational corporations are creeping into the website and taking over.
All you have to do is look at YouTube Rewind to realize exactly where this is all headed. Trevor Noah, John Oliver, Will Smith, family-friendly personalities who don't say anything too outrageous, who have nothing to do with YouTube, is the direction the internet is going.
Regular YouTube will go on the back burner and eventually it'll probably just die away.
Since 2007, this site has changed dramatically.
I've seen how it's changed over the years, and right now I just feel so negative.
If you just look at YouTube from a couple of years ago, it was dominated by creators, large and small. But today, that's not the case. So, I mean, if you just look at YouTube's trending page, you have Late Night with Stephen Colbert, Late Night with Seth Meyers, Last Week Tonight with John Oliver. You see a lot of Hollywood movie trailers.
YouTube is very, very big Hollywood-orientated now.
The Jews, they own it all.
Really, every late night host that said anything ever is always on trending, but iDubbbz can put out a video that gets 13 million views in 24 to 36 hours, and that's just, it's not there. It's just so strange how that works.
This is a losing battle. My channel and my videos will always be under-promoted, always be locked down to some extent.
They sell out the platform to big corporate giants and establishment media companies in order to turn YouTube into the very thing that its audiences wanted to escape in the first place: television.
And we're not coming on YouTube to see the same shit we could watch on television. We're coming to YouTube to hear alternative voices.
This is YouTube turning into television.
It will be like that one day. I genuinely believe it will be.
Well, it's already getting there.
Yeah.
You will cease to be in any way relevant in YouTube's TV-based future.
Something that means so much to me is just kind of coming back to slap me in the face.
The people that you watch on YouTube are being affected by this, and those channels that maybe are smaller than mine may not make videos anymore. The channels that you love may not make videos anymore, and you want to know why? Because YouTube has made it so difficult, so anti-creator in any way for us to make content.
They marginalize, demotivate, and destroy the careers of the stars that made YouTube what it is. Okay, they push them out.
They take a sledgehammer and destroy the entirety of these individuals' livelihoods.
Channels that are larger or that have corporate or advertisers behind them, that they're not being impacted at all, even if their content is more subjective.
You can play by the rules. You can do everything right like Sargon did and have one infraction that doesn't even qualify as a rule break and have your income terminated.
This decision that YouTube made, it is discriminatory, and it has real impacts for us as a nonprofit.
They've taken away our income.
It's so frustrating to know that you can just create something so beautiful and these platforms can just turn it off. I feel like I have no control of my own destiny anymore publishing on YouTube.
All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value.
It shows you that, you know, we are really at the mercy of YouTube.
I don't really have much power here. There's nothing I can do, you know, here. It's a terrible, terrible place.
You've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value.
This is an important case study on what an unfair and abusive position of power YouTube is in relation to its creators and users.
It's out of our control.
But we're just so powerless in it. I just feel sick. I feel so sick, and then I feel such despair because of what we're losing and what we've lost.
It's really hurtful.
I have to say that it kind of hurts my feelings.
Does this sound like a company that gives two shits about independent content creators?
The way YouTube is handling their community guidelines, it's not right. Not only is it unfair and unreasonable, but I consider it just downright unethical.
I am beyond upset with what's happened here and what's happening to my friends and how poorly content creators are being treated, and ultimately how screwed over you, our audiences, are going to be by what is coming down the line.
You realize that this thing we're doing right now on YouTube is in a way very brittle.
You can follow their rules and still break their rules because they agree you followed their rules, but they've decided you break their rules.
It doesn't really give you this feeling of stability.
Strike and banishment appeals are denied and met with silence, no matter how you try to contact YouTube for answers.
We've sent him like 20 messages, no response.
I got no response.
They will not communicate with us.
I can't get in contact with them.
They haven't told us exactly what the problem is.
YouTube just took that from us. They ripped it from us, and they will not even explain why they did it.
We don't really get much of a reason from YouTube.
It's all over the place. There's no communication, there's no reason or logic behind it.
We're all hurting here. We're all going under.
YouTube's apathy towards content creators now makes perfect sense. They have bigger plans that don't include you and me, and I'm actually okay with that. They're a private company. They're free to do whatever the hell they want, and I'm free to do what I like, which will no doubt eventually be a full migration away from YouTube in the future.
I will leave this platform.
I honestly now, based off of the way YouTube has set itself up, don't believe that I can thrive on this platform anymore. And that's incredibly disheartening for me.
It's at this point where I don't know if it's solvable.
I will quit YouTube this fucking year.
YouTube is not really that great.
This is why I push anything but YouTube.
YouTube is going down the shithole. It really is.
I think they are really have a problem on their hands.
And I would say that the negatives far outweigh the positives when it comes to YouTube.
I am tired of trying to work with the alcoholic, negligent stepfather that is YouTube. At this point, it really doesn't matter if you're swerving this car into a tree on purpose or you're just asleep at the wheel and that's what happened.
You know, maybe someday soon I will go out of YouTube in a blaze of glory. I'll just say that's becoming more and more of a desirable thing to do at this point because I'm getting so frustrated with YouTube.
Recently, we've seen a lot of people become deplatformed, demonetized.
I don't want that fear of getting shut down on YouTube and losing all of this just because of some rule that probably doesn't matter at all.
This has made a lot of people uneasy. They don't want to build a community on a platform where they can be demonetized at any time.
I would love, long term, to migrate away. I just hate being reliant on Google.
I think that a lot of people are going to be looking into alternative options.
We need a platform that's not as much of a sellout and will actually stand up for its creators.
It's fair to say that YouTube is clueless as to where the culture is going. The ostrich head is firmly buried in the sand.
We will need to spread out to other platforms and gradually become completely independent from centralized governance.
Gradually, we will be forced to leave this platform.
This is just the beginning. In the long run, we will need to establish some more independent and decentralized means of exchange.
Then they think that the audiences of these YouTubers will just remain and sit around and watch mainstream TV content on YouTube.
Who wants to go there? What types of audience will come there? Will there even be an audience for educational content?
I think the community being upset is an existential threat to YouTube's entire business.
This ship is sinking, and it's about time that certain people stopped denying that the cold, icy, chilly waters are now lapping at their feet. The content creators who built YouTube will simply leave the platform in favor of a site where they will be treated with the respect they deserve.
A message to everybody out there: if your content creator has other avenues, go support it, man.
If this community isn't happy, if this community isn't constantly psyched about what YouTube is doing, I think that could prove to be a crack in the foundation of the company that is YouTube that could ultimately give way and be extremely disruptive to their business.
We will take our audiences with us, and this whole process of escaping TV programming is going to start all over again. So YouTube will die the same death as conventional cable television because it will become indistinguishable from conventional cable television.
YouTube is driving away a lot of really talented creators.
YouTube has completely failed here.
Lots of small independent creators are gonna drop off YouTube because they can't make it anymore.
It's so demoralizing and so frustrating to have worked on a platform for so long and to put so much of your time and effort into something and have it mean so much to you.
You've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value.
As a creator who's been on the platform for over a decade, who really, like, I love saying that I'm a YouTuber, but not with the way things are now.
I guarantee you then the creators that you watch and love will most likely not be on this platform for much longer.
Your favorite content creators will cease to exist on this platform.
And that is the problem. The community not feeling good about the platform.
Given what I've explained to you in this video, you can see why I'm less optimistic. YouTube is changing the very nature of its business, and that future configuration of the site clearly doesn't have room for us.
So the most insensitive thing you can ever do to somebody is to call them crazy, without looking at any of their information and without acknowledging any of their theories that sound crazy to you at first but might have validity to them after you've investigated genuinely and looked into the claim and looked at all the evidence and made up your own decision. Now, there's been a lot of talk lately about YouTube and Google censoring extremist videos. And by extremist, I mean people who are trying to help spread truth, help talk about things that need to be talked about. They're labeled as extremists, or internet terrorists, they call them.
You've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value.
You know, it's disappointing. As someone who's been creating content on YouTube for over 7 years now,
I don't know what to say. Like, I'm just really, really freaking disappointed in YouTube.
And the worst thing is that YouTube definitely feels like YouTube wants to sweep it under the rug.
Nothing matters anymore.
Can you see the damage that this has now done?
And what I want to do today is give you guys a clear example of a channel that is being throttled, a channel that is being choked, suppressed. If there's any positive reinforcement towards some of these videos, it's possible that they are being suppressed to the point where they are not propped up the way they should be. They're not promoted genuinely. We're going to give you a quick example. So Math Powerland did a video recently about some live show, late night streaming. And what I want to do is give you guys a quick example here, real quick. Let's just zoom in, make these a little bit bigger. Take note, I have not voted on this video yet. 178 ups, 80 down, okay? Now I'm going to give this a click, refresh, just to confirm, all right? 178 ups, 80 down, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to like this video. Now it's 179, okay? And 80 down. So if I click up, it's 179 now. That was my vote. And if I refresh it, oh, wait, I just thumbs up this video. Hold on a minute. I like it. 179. Let's confirm that it actually shows up on my channel as a liked video. There it is. All right, I liked it. But if I refresh this page, what is that? It was just 179. All of a sudden, 178. What did my vote not count? Very strange. Now if you take a look here, it still shows up on my liked videos. It's right there. However, Google did not think it was important that my vote counted towards the positives. Instead, it took my 179, my one vote that made it a 9, and it went back to 8. Are you trying to tell me that amazingly somebody out there unliked this video by unchecking their thumbs up at the exact same time? No, that's not the case, because I'll tell you why. We can do it with any of the NASA channel's videos. Alright, here's another one. Oh, this one has more downs than ups. Math has 27,000 subscribers. Alright? 27,000 people out there should be voting positively for things he does. They like him, they follow him, should be right there. And yet we have more downs? Okay, so I'm going to cast my vote on this. Look, I'll refresh it too, just so you guys can see it. 114. Alright, Matt's up here rocking away. He's doing some cool, flat earth rock jam band music stuff. He's trying to get people, listening to what he's doing. It's creative. It's better than the shit they put on the mainstream, right? Fucking mainstream music. We don't want to listen to that. I'll listen to this any day. And amazingly, 114. Let's refresh one more time. Show you there's no tricks. 114 to 134. I like this video. 115 to 134. And on the refresh, it goes back down to 114. Oh, that is not how this is supposed to work. So does this mean that when we vote for presidents, when we vote for politicians and presidents, our votes get counted but then rejected? Is that how it goes? Because I'm pretty sure that voting is not only an illusion of choice, but it's a complete fucking illusion in general. So here we are now voting for something I like, and my vote did not get counted. Twice. And there's a third video I took. Any video I do on the NASA channel's channel will have that happen. I'm kind of without words here, Google. So we're suppressing, here's another one, 478. I like his video. We do a refresh. Goes back down. Apparently I do not matter. Alright? And if I'm being suppressed, how many other videos out there with people's likes and votes and everything along those lines? How many of those people?
Having been the target of constant overt and covert censorship by YouTube for years, the following is my experience and analysis of how YouTube is actively suppressing and banning legitimate flat earth content while allowing and promoting illegitimate disinformation and controlled opposition agents. Since its inception, Google has always prioritized the farcical, satirical Flat Earth Society when users search the topic Flat Earth in their search engine. By doing so, people are introduced to disingenuous disinformation as the primary source of information on the subject, and thus influenced into believing the entire topic to be unscientific and just some convoluted troll. Before 2015, when the Flat Earth keyword began its explosive exponential growth, many of my Flat Earth videos went viral, appearing in recommended feeds and given top priority in all relevant searches, garnering millions of views and tens of thousands of new subscribers in a very short space of time. Since approximately 2016 and onward, however, YouTube has completely changed their algorithm so that a search for Flat Earth and related topics gives results that show only Flat Earth debunking videos for the first several pages. No videos by any legitimate Flat Earther appear in the search, nor do they make it to recommended feeds. If any user scrolls down through the wall of sophist debunking videos, they will then be met with a second wall of disingenuous government Metatron corporate infiltrators, and not a single legitimate scientific Flat Earth video. In order to influence public opinion and the recommended feed algorithm, which involves a video's like ratio, YouTube has also engaged in a campaign against myself and other genuine Flat Earth content creators by egregiously removing all likes and the ability to like our videos. Not only will thousands of likes disappear and reset to zero overnight, but users' previous likes will remain in the like position without being counted, while users trying to add new likes are disabled. Meanwhile, however, all dislikes and the ability to dislike remains untouched, making it appear that the public consensus of each video is abysmal, and making it impossible to appear in YouTube's recommended feed. Several times, and now as if on cue, when a new video on my channel gathers an above-average number of views and likes, within 48 hours, someone with direct access to YouTube's own software and administrative privileges wipes all the likes and the ability to like the new video. Every time they have done this, they also wipe the likes from my most recent 10 to 15 videos also, for good measure, as if trying to punish me or send some silent message. I assume they could just remove every single like from every video on my account if they wanted, but for whatever reason, they just do it periodically to groups of new videos like this. An even more sinister and effective covert form of censorship YouTube has been engaging in with mine and other legitimate Flat Earth channels is removing subscriptions. Over the years, I have received thousands of comments from users complaining of being unsubscribed from my channel, not once, but repeatedly. Many longtime subscribers have complained of being mysteriously unsubscribed from my channel upwards of 5 to 10 times periodically over the course of several years. Through no action of their own, after noticing a lack of my content appearing in their feeds, users continue commenting that my channel has disappeared from their subscription list. As with removing likes, removing subscriptions makes it incredibly difficult to build a channel, unlikely to appear high in searches, and influences public opinion about the authority and popularity of the content in question. This act of removing likes and subscribers from content creators implicates YouTube themselves in the organized, intentional, unlawful censorship of selected channels, in direct violation of the First Amendment rights guaranteed in their country of operation. Channels who attempt using YouTube's Live Hangout feature encounter another method of covert censorship, whereby people with access to YouTube's administrative dashboard are hacking into live video streams and shutting them down, taking them over and streaming their own anti-Flat Earth content, or playing hardcore pornography on the stream, resulting in the channel owner having their account irrevocably striked. And I stipulate irrevocably because all appeals are denied without reason or explanation. Legitimate, independent, scientific channels like Beyond the Imaginary Curve are constantly sniped and porn-bombed during their live hangouts, while illegitimate, unscientific, Metatron corporate infiltrators, like a certain Cold Potato channel that shall remain nameless, are never affected, nor do they ever have their likes and subscriptions removed. Quite to the contrary, they are prioritized over all other, better, genuine content.
Hi people, just a wee video to let everybody know that I'm going to be going live for the next 3 months on the Beyond the Imaginary Curve live channel. Unfortunately, the other night we were porn bombed, which, and sniped, which means, these globe cult gimps take over the hangout, uninvited, and play porn on it, knowing that it's going to give you a 3-month copyright strike, which limits your ability to live stream. So unfortunately, I thought, previous to that, I thought I could get away with it because when they come in and they snipe, I can go and hit private on the live video that will not be shown, and I can then, delete it when it's finished. But in this case, it appears that for whatever reason, YouTube are at hand and ready to issue the strike immediately. And again, no investigation into, what actually went on and holding the proper accounts accountable. They just punish the content provider. Whatever. We're really at a time where we should be able to freely express ourselves and have discussions without criminal activity of people coming in and hacking into, your account and taking it over, and playing porn. Again, we have to ask the questions, why does that function even exist? I'm no any kind of computer genius, far from it. I don't even have a proper understanding of how these things work, but I use the analogy, why do I put a handle on a door if I don't want people to open the door? So I have to ask these questions, why does that facility even exist? So it's being utilised by this globe cult and its fear of being exposed, which is why these people are behaving the way they are.
When all else fails, YouTube simply bans your channel, as myself and several other flat earthers, such as ODD TV, I Hate Mainstream, Mary at Sea Level, The Seattle Green, Luke Donnelly, Jay DeCasby, and many others have experienced. On December 12, 2017, in a particularly outrageous case, in violation of their own community guidelines, YouTube removed my original channel of 7+ years, 135,000 subscribers, and 28 million views for a single hate speech strike. Firstly, there was no hateful speech anywhere in the factual historical documentary they striked. But secondly, and more importantly, they deleted my entire channel of over 200 videos for a single strike, when their own legal terms and conditions along with every user's channel dashboard, states that channels are allowed 3 strikes before being banned. Just as with the sniping and porn bombing attacks, strike and banishment appeals are denied and met with silence no matter how you try to contact YouTube for answers. YouTube has long been engaging in this blatant censorship of flat Earth and many other important topics, and it is high time this becomes publicized so they are held accountable for their unlawful actions. Please help share this video across your social media platforms to spread the word about YouTube's underhanded suppression of selected users and subjects. Also be sure to follow on BitTube, DTube, BitChute, Reel.video, and other independent video sharing sites where your likes, subscriptions, and channels won't be so callously censored. Since we cannot rely on YouTube's algorithms, searches, or recommended videos, it is up to us and of paramount importance that we manually share this information by word of mouth and grassroots activism. So I implore everyone, take it upon yourselves and make it your life's mission, as I and many others have, to expose these lies and liars and fight for the truth so ourselves and future generations can live in a world where basic liberties like free speech are prized and protected.
You've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value.
People talk about George Orwell's 1984 as if it's something far off in the future, as if it's something we're headed to. Honestly, I think we're already here. If it's getting to a point now to where you can't even talk about 9/11 or the Earth not being the shape as what we're told it is, it's ridiculous. And by the way, you shouldn't have to be a flat earther or a conspiracy theorist to understand that there is something wrong with censoring a large group of people who disagree with the mainstream narrative. There's obviously something wrong with that, and it shouldn't be just conspiracy theorists who are getting outraged by this. Everyone should be upset about this, because today they come for conspiracy theorists. Who are they going to come for tomorrow? It's going to get to a point to where you can't disagree with anything.
You've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value.
Number one, to come into the truth movement, if you're really concerned about truth, you've got to check an ego at the door, okay? You do not know everything. A lot of you think you do, but you don't. I certainly don't. Through your school system, through your education that you're so proud of, that builds your whole ego, your whole value in life, it's impossible for you to discard it and admit you were deceived. Let me tell you something. You've been deceived. It's not your fault. You can let go of your ego. Nobody's gonna laugh at you except other people that can't let go of their ego. But people that have caught on to the con and realized the power grab that's taken place, they're not going to laugh at you, they're going to welcome you. I'm telling you again, the worst thing they fear is the hive mind. The one thing they fear is 300 million people in the United States coming together on one topic and saying, this makes no sense. We need answers. Why is the flat earth so important? Because it shows the deception. There are enough reasonable questions to create reasonable suspicion that we've been lied to. They can't afford to keep being asked. Whether the earth actually turned out to be diamond-shaped, cross-shaped, pear-shaped, there's enough to see that it's not what we've been told. And once that is revealed, everything these governments have done becomes illegitimate. That is why it matters. And that is why they will do anything they can to keep us fighting, keep us distracted, keep us at odds against each other, just like the entire world. Whether it be Christians against Muslims, blacks against whites. Government that truly has your best interest, your freedom at heart? Or does it sound like a government that wants to keep you constantly busy on paying attention to anything but what they're doing? And this truth movement is no different. Because as soon as the topic starts going where everybody could actually make a stand and say, hey, wait a minute, this needs to be answered. This is a big one. And I don't care what anybody says, the flat earth, the shape of the earth, is the biggest conspiracy and has been used to manipulate, deceive, and control us all. If God forbid everybody came and started demanding answers, and once they can't provide those answers, people realize they are busted. It can't be a mistake. It can't be anything but the deception and control mechanism it is. Flat Earth is not a psyop. Flat Earth destroys the psyop. Every psyop that's been used to control us for as long as they've known about it. So this system has been in power and control for hundreds of years, ever since they convinced the rest of the world that they didn't know where they live, and created this fantastical scenario to make people feel insignificant and to follow those that appear to know better, that are just better liars, deceivers, that have no conscience, and will do everything and anything to everybody and anybody they can to keep that power. Because people are waking up. And no matter how much they try to suppress this flat earth movement, oh, it's gonna keep moving one way or another. You can see it. People are waking up. So now, louder than ever, I can hear that clock. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. It's a religion. It's all a religion. You know why? Because government is a religion. Government is the majority of the world's true God, because they believe that these people have some sort of power, and they've even convinced us that we've given it to them. They still have us convinced in 2015, the age of instant communication, that we for some reason need representatives in a city that's not even part of this country called Washington, D.C. to represent us. That in this age of instant communication, we can't represent ourselves for some reason. That's how deep the brainwashing and the indoctrination has gone. They still have you convinced that this government should be run on the same system it was run when people were back on horseback using telegraphs and Pony Express. That's why they had these representatives, had to go to Washington, so that they could go back home to this group of a few 100,000 people and say, well, what do you guys want? Okay, I'll go tell them. And they travel for a week to Washington, D.C. or however long it takes. That's why you needed representatives. Now I can push this button and talk to anybody in the world. What the fuck do I need a representative for? Because it's the power system, the control system. They have to keep indoctrinating you in schools, teaching you about everything and anything but where you live. Now they have to treat out all the money that was going into the educational system to control your mind isn't working anymore. People see how stupid everybody is. That is the failure of government. See, Flat Earth proves the failure of government, period. Because it's either deceived and lied and indoctrinated us all into a false system, or it's completely failed in making people realize if they really live on a globe, a lot of people don't see it. So your education system has failed now, hasn't it? In order to believe it, We've got to believe a bunch of math formulas that only a few people in the world can supposedly understand, and we've just got to take your word for it. Here in this age of all this technology where I can get on this phone, record this video, and send it out to the world, they can't seem to find a way to easily, simply prove to everybody on the planet where they live. It always depends on some formulas that the majority of the people don't understand. And again, the people that do understand it don't understand it. They either know it's bullshit or they believe it's bullshit because it's just religion and it's not proven. It's just twisted formulas to fit their agenda. It doesn't wash out in reality. What difference does it make? What difference does it make? Yeah, that's their favorite line. Got a lot of people, what difference does it make? You can't figure out what difference it makes? If you can't figure out what difference it makes that the people running your world have fucking lied to you over and over your whole life, if you can't figure out that someone lying to you is trying to control you. Suppressing of information, of knowledge, is control. Deception of information and knowledge is a form of control. So what difference does it make? It makes a big difference, because once they start omitting information or lying about information about where you live, they're doing it to control you. Period. Why am I having to explain this to critical thinkers in the truth movement? Where you live, it's been a lie the whole time. And if everybody would just come together and demand answers, they would be in checkmate. They would not know what the fuck to do. They cannot prove it. They can't prove the globe because it doesn't exist. So once you calling on them, they're done. You then remove them from power and go from there. That rips down all the other conspiracies. You then have access to all these top secret government files, that national security that they hide all the evidence under. The way you control billions of people is to keep them divided and fighting each other. So they focus on anything and everything but you and how you're controlling them all.
Do you know who owns 96% of the entire media? The Jews. They own it all. ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox. Why do you think Fox is the Israel warmongering channel 24/7? Why do you think every single televangelist on TV says, bless Israel, give your money to Israel, Israel this, Israel that? Because it is owned by the media, which is controlled by the Jews.
In diesen Ländern regiert tatsächlich das Kapital. Sie reden von der Freiheit der Presse. In Wirklichkeit hat jede dieser Zeitungen einen Herrn. Und dieser Herr ist in jedem Fall der Geldgeber. Diese Presse moduliert nun die öffentliche Meinung. Diese Parteien unterscheiden sich so wenig voneinander, als sie früher bei uns voneinander unterschieden haben. Sie kennen sie ja, die alten Parteien. Das war immer eines und dasselbe. Nun müsste man doch meinen, dass vor allem in diesen Ländern der Freiheit und des Reichtums ein unerhörtes Wohlleben für das Volk bestehen müsste. Es ist aber umgekehrt.
I want you to listen to me, because I'm only going to say this once. Never, ever trust the news again. Not only is it the same crisis actress, but I don't even know how many different things, like it's 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 different fake hoax shootings, gun grabs, And then this video, I found that I've seen the video enough times of the original of this whole thing, and I could tell right away that it had been manipulated. And so I put this little thing together with I say real, I don't know that that's real, that's original, or the original release version, okay? And then they have the remastered version, the digitally altered, morphed, face swapped, whatever version on the right there. And you may say that it's the aspect ratio, but you know, they have the globe back there, and the globe is circular, it's round in both versions, and so it tells me that they only digitally manipulated the face. They made the teeth bigger, they did certain things to make them look different.
The worst days of my life. I guess I didn't know how much one person can love another until you just don't know where they're at. You just have no idea, and I'm just hoping for a sign of some sort that he's okay. And I believe in God, and I believe that God is with him, and that is what I hold on to. That is where my hope comes from.
My heart is with you, Emily, and I can't even pretend to understand what this is like for you. You know, if let's remain optimistic. If he's okay, you know, and in that first phone call with him, well, what's the first thing you're going to tell him? That first phone call with him, well, what's the first thing you're going to tell him? That God is our Savior, and that if we can make it through this, then there's nothing that can stand between us. And I just cannot wait to see his smile. And I'm just in hope that that time will come very shortly. And yeah. Emily Eisenman, I am thinking only happy thoughts for you. Thank you so much for the time. Let's stay in touch.
In diesen Ländern der sogenannten Demokratie wird ja überhaupt gar nicht das Volk in den Mittelpunkt der Betrachtung gerückt. Was entscheidend ist, ist ausschließlich die Existenz dieser paar Macher der Demokratie. Das heißt also, die Existenz dieser paar hundert gigantischen Kapitalisten, die im Besitz ihrer ganzen Werke, ihrer ganzen Aktien sind und die letzten Endes damit diese Völker ausschließlich dirigieren, die breite Masse interessiert sie nicht im Geringsten. Es sind die einzigen, die wirklich als internationale Elemente anzusprechen sind, weil sie überall ihre Geschäfte betätigen können. Es ist eine kleine, wurzellose, internationale Clique, die Völker gegeneinander hetzt, die nicht will, dass sie zur Ruhe kommen.
Hi, I'm Fox San Antonio's Jessica Headley.
And I'm Ryan Wolf.
Our greatest responsibility is to serve our
Treasure Valley communities,
the El Paso, Las Cruces communities, Eastern Iowa communities,
Mid-Michigan communities.
We are extremely proud of the quality, balanced journalism that CBS 4 News produces.
But
we are concerned about the trouble and trend of irresponsible, one-sided news stories plaguing our country.
The sharing of biased and false news has become all too common on social media. More alarming, some media outlets publish these same fake stories without checking facts first.
The sharing of biased and false
news has become all too common on social media.
More alarming, some media outlets publish these same fake stories without checking facts first.
Unfortunately, some members of the media use their platforms to push their own personal bias and agenda to control exactly what people think. And this is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
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 This is extremely dangerous to our democracy. This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
Es war das ein Kampf, besonders aber auch gegen das Volk, das in unserem Land schon fast allmächtig zu sein schien. Der Kampf gegen das Judentum. Eine satanische Macht, die von uns das ganze Volk in Besitz ergriffen hatte. Die alle Schlüsselstellungen des geistigen, intellektuellen Lebens, aber auch des politischen und des wirtschaftlichen in ihre Hand gebracht hatte. Und das von diesen Schlüsselstellungen aus die ganze Nation überwachte. Eine Macht, die zugleich auch Einfluss besaß, denjenigen, wenn notwendig sogar mit dem Gesetz zu verfolgen, der es unternahm, sich den Kampf gegen diese Macht anzuschließen und der bereit war, Widerstand dem Vordringen dieser Macht entgegenzusetzen.
The minute a real competitor to YouTube jumps on board, then I think I'm going to have no choice but to migrate to that platform, because YouTube has just shown that they're not friendly to creators any longer.
The first thing that has to happen is a really viable competitor to YouTube.
New platforms are cropping up all of the time, but one is really disrupting. Joining me now, Riley Smith, head of content for LBRY.
My friend just told me about LBRY. I just heard about this thing called LBRY.
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 LBRY. LBRY.
LBRY, which is a new platform for video creation, watching videos.
It's a YouTube-like app.
Let's say together with me, LBRY! LBRY!
How is it different?
So LBRY is a blockchain-based content platform.
If you don't want to worry about sponsorship rules and advertising rules and whether you can say this or that or the other thing, LBRY, LBRY, may be the solution.
And it enables you or anyone else who loves making content to publish it to the internet without being beholden to or fearful of corporate control or interests like YouTube or Facebook or Twitter, and the threat that they represent today to people who make content.
It works in an entirely decentralized way, in a way that we ourselves have no authority over this.
The reason I want to talk to you guys about this specifically and recommend this is that, one, it's like YouTube, but it's also completely open source.
You as an individual publisher have complete control over how it's monetized, unlike how you would on YouTube.
There's no cut taken by us as a company, nor do we even have the ability to take a cut if we wanted to, again, due to the nature of the technology.
In the future, it is inevitable that this technology will be a vehicle for you or anyone else to publish content easily. It's the lower friction, it's a no-brainer.
You make a part of your living off of YouTube, I assume. Yeah. We want you to keep getting paid. We actually want you to get paid more.
And the sooner we can teach these people how easy it is to use and how they can continue to monetize their site without any interference from a third party or payment processor, the better.
I don't know if you know how much YouTube is taking of every dollar, but it's about 45%. So every dollar you're making for YouTube's keeping about half of it, which is kind of crazy when you think about it.
It's not controlled by one entity or one corporation, but it's controlled by us, which is the community. And that's why I love this app.
I think it is a very, very interesting concept, very interesting product, and it's very topical for this point in time.
I always put all my stuff on LBRY, and it's got to be one of my favorite user interfaces as far as like a actual desktop application.
It's a very intuitive app. It's actually, they've just recently updated it, so it's moving quickly.
I've slowly but surely converted everybody to getting on it. It's an awesome place to upload.
When you subscribe to the channel, you can have it auto download as soon as new episodes come out, and the download is a DRM-free MP4 video file, which is really handy.
It was so amazing. And right now I'm watching Bitcoins with friends to explain to me more about LBRY, and I hope you can watch this too and also watch me.
It helps build me up on a new platform. I mean, LBRY is growing, but it helps establish me early on a platform that is clearly growing, which helps me.
You should check it out.
Support me by watching my exclusive videos on the LBRY platform.
Look, already so many YouTubers have already synced up with LBRY, which is amazing. I'm subscribed to about 50 of them already.
One of the downsides of the centralization we see in the services that we use on the internet is that these companies end up having a lot of control over the conversation. Certain types of content doesn't get treated the same way as other types of content.
Yeah.
And LBRY is definitely a reaction to that.
Basically, it's just an awesome new way of taking away some of the, well, censorship.
The entire purpose of this is essentially to tie our own hands, to create a system where you can reliably trust that there won't be someone else in charge other than the users.
I highly suggest syncing your YouTube videos to it if you have not yet.
Go to LBRY.com/YouTube, and any YouTuber can sign up there to mirror the content.
Give it a try. It's worth it.
I also suggest, if you are not a YouTuber, it is still an amazing platform to get involved with.
What LBRY is trying to deliver is the ability for people to find and access and potentially purchase stuff that they like, and to do it in a way that leaves the people who make stuff and the people who look at stuff in control of that, and not having someone in the middle.
And just get involved with this new platform. It's a new era. Kids Games Fun definitely recommends LBRY.
The first thing that has to happen is a really viable competitor to YouTube. The second thing that has to happen is for the community to have lost faith in YouTube.
There is this new movement now of trying to get away from YouTube and trying to get away from like centralized media platforms.
I'll be looking forward to the day to ditch YouTube for a viable alternative.
We will find a new place to play, where all the cool kids will go.
And we have been getting traction from this thing. There are a lot of people out there who think that the status quo is not, it's not benefiting them.
If those two things, the community loses faith, and then there's a competitor that offers a bigger audience and a better way to monetize, I think there's a very real chance for disruption within the entire YouTube community.
YouTube was just the first venue. The after party is wherever free speech takes us next.
On a platform, it doesn't matter how cool the people who started are, or how neat their vision statement is, or whatever. Their mission statement is amazing. Cool, let's be a part of this. You're only one change of leadership, one change in the terms of service away from having the rug pulled out from underneath you.
YouTube was a stable place at a time to make money, to where you could do YouTube full time and you could make a pretty good amount of money every month. But that's not the case anymore. I took the risk, and here I am. I have money saved, but I'm not making anything on YouTube anymore.
All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value.